You are live. All right, let me get the link from my brother right here real quick. What we talking about, y'all? Hold on a second. Live, 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 live in effect. Mm-mm-mm. All right. Clearly, everybody's seen the footage with Diddy dragging Cassie in the hotel room. So I came on this platform, Hip Hop is Art. Shout out to Hip Hop is Art, artondekz.com, the art album book. And I made some comments about I I made some comments about needing to see proof of what's going on, right? Which is crazy. Not crazy, but when we're talking about court, you just need to see proof, right? That's kind, you need evidence, whatever. And I ain't gonna front. I was talking to my brother earlier, and not that I'm on a certain level, like as far as in the industry, I'm a little homie, right? But been around Diddy a few times. Nothing crazy, not like that. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I've never known him to when the fuck this nigga become Suge Knight? Like when the fuck this nigga become Suge Knight? Like this shit is crazy. Right? Now what he did, that was some straight sucker shit. That was horrible. But I'm just saying like I ain't got I'm kind of lost for words. Like wow. I I assume that, niggas did some bullshit, niggas did some weird shit, and a lot of the other shit was cat. Or not even cat, but maybe some sauce. People throw some sauce on some stuff. They be throwing extra sauce. It looked like it's no extra sauce. Let me see my brother. Let me see my brother here. Call has been forwarded to an automatic. Oh, straight to voicemail. Let me see. Call my nigga Shaw. What's up? I know. How many fucking phone numbers is here? 207. Okay. Call my brother real quick, my brother Sean. All my niggas is fathers. They doing daddy duty and all that type of shit. Let me see. He texted me. Oh, yeah. Okay.
What's going on? What's going on?
Universal Guru.
Yep,
What
yep.
up, cuz? All right. So I was talking to my brother Bano earlier. I came on live last week. I made some comments about I need to see proof of what's going on.
Yeah.
I told the world I need to see proof before
Oh
we
man.
pick somebody. And
Yeah.
goddamn,
And now it dropped.
I think we see too much proof. I think we see too much.
Yep, yep.
What's your thoughts on what you've seen? And my question was, when did Diddy become Suge Knight? This
Well,
wasn't his. Like, what's your thoughts on that?
well, I know people speculated for a while that he was like this this kind of shady, bad person in regards to could have been, involved in Pac's death, Biggie's death. So I think that's always been lingering for a minute. I used to hear stuff about that. But like, as far as the image now, if you mean in regards to like him effing up the way that Suge Knight effed up, ran over the guy and doing crazy stuff. I mean, a lot of these celebrities, they do crazy stuff. They think they're never going to get caught. Then it happens. And the thing about it is this, though. Here's one thing I was thinking about it, too, is that it might not be, and I'm playing devil's advocate here. So this is not to sugarcoat what everyone saw in that video. And for anyone who hasn't seen the video, it's him dragging Cassie in the hotel lobby, hallway by the elevator, and then kicking her while she's on the floor. It's like he could have had just like a bad moment, even though a lot of people, the way they speculate, all the talks you hear about it, sounds like he's been like this for a minute. There's also that possible spin that he had a bad moment and happened to be caught on camera. But the way it's looking right now, it just looks like it's like we have all these allegations and now we got proof of you doing it. So
like he was on coke.
Yes, yeah,
like he on cocaine, right? Look a little coke high, right?
Well, there's that, but you want to know what's funny? Because I watched some videos. What was I was looking at? I was looking at some video before that was depicting some of his past things that he used to do. I forget what it was, but it had a few people speaking on it. Matter of fact, I'm not sure if this is if this was on Netflix. I don't know where I seen this from, but I seen some kind of little mini documentary thing going on. I want to almost say it was Netflix, but I can't imagine sure. I'm not sure. I think it might have been Netflix. I don't have Apple, but and it had like Stevie J in it commenting, like saying that we don't know if he's, guilty. You had like Aubrey from his group with the girls.
Recently.
Yeah, recently. This is real recent. And it pretty much grabbed everything they had. It put this together. Yeah. And in that, you see some shots of where he was ranting and raving, days where he's like, I need my way, just to his staff and just getting crazy. So it's like when you see him going crazy like that in the video, dragging I'm having a brain fart right now. Cassie. When you see her dragging her and stuff like that, it's kind of like he may not even be on anything. He could be, but it's like that's kind of probably his personality. The way they showed it, when he gets angry in front of his group, in front of his people, he gets like whatever, almost like the way they even showed that Dylon thing back on that. He's like, this is what I want. So it's like some guys like that get high off their power because they so up there that they feel like in that moment it's like I'm used to getting my way. I'm not getting my way right now, and they get pissed. You know what I mean? Because you look at it like, how do you have this billionaire not getting his way from this 21-year-old girl? It's like to him that might be like, Now
he's definitely. I think the learning lesson, like you have a channel. What's the name of your channel? The Life channel.
Universal Guru.
Universal Guru. Okay. We talk about just like the whole family and being a better person.
Yeah.
I think something we can learn from this is and my spin, I always try to bring to like the Black community kind of thing, but like Diddy, Jay-Z, these people who we look at as like leaders, whatever. This situation, I think we could learn that once you get to a certain one, there's a basic level of right and wrong, right?
Yeah.
But once we pass that part, the basic part, like once you do become a leader in the community or a certain celebrity or somebody with influence at that level, you power can corrupt. Like you could almost start believing it. I mean, it probably is your normality. You know what I'm saying? Like when you see things, like when you hear things like he paid things off, he paid this and this. If you grow for 10, 20 years, you could just like this, and you it's gonna be a point where you it's real. It's like
it's
I know
normal.
I could really make this thing go like it. So like you said, you're into psychology. I think it's if you don't have a real grounding of who you are or people around you, it could get to you. And I think we have to kind of
Yeah,
learn from
yeah,
that.
yep, yeah. That's what they say about like having too many yes men around you and not enough people telling you when you get to that level of power, don't do what you're doing. Hey, put you in check. Because used to say the same thing about Kanye. They said like he had too many yes men around him. So when he was acting crazy, there wasn't enough people saying to him like, calm down. Like, what are you doing? And then so you get to that point where, yeah, you know,
This nigga Kanye, at one point, he was worth $8 billion
I think I'm losing the signal
speculation.
a little bit. It's getting a little bit choppy.
Oh, a little choppy. Hold on, let me see. At one point, hold on, yeah, they say Kanye was worth around $8 billion, and they said how's it right now? Do we got the what you call? Oh, we got some comments in here. Okay, okay. Same thing for
Yeah.
DMX. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, I see. Yeah, I hear you. We got Sean in the building. What's good, bro? Yeah. Now this nigga Kanye
Yeah.
said, nigga Kanye at one point he was worth $8 billion, and he said, he don't listen to nobody broker than him.
Yeah.
That means you listen to
Yeah.
nobody.
You know,
You're not listening to
yeah.
nobody.
Yeah, yeah. At that point, yeah, because there ain't nobody who's at your level. So nah, yeah, it's definitely crazy, you know. So that's definitely like a thing, you know what I mean? That's definitely like an issue, you know, that runs into the situation. You get to a point where like you ain't listening to someone, the power gets to you. And like I said, it might have been just a moment. Playing devil's advocate, I'm not saying this to defend him. It could have been a moment. It could have been just that one moment where he's like, okay, I'm angry today. I'm feeling this way. But once you get used to being that way, this is your norm now. You know what I mean? Spazzing out when you don't get your way, this and that. So that moment it gets caught on tape, or that moment you had a bad day, you said it to the wrong person. Like maybe you said it to paparazzi many times, no one cares. Now you say it to the person you with, and it gets on camera. That's it. You know what I mean? And in today's society, that's all it takes for you to fall downhill after that. They get it on camera, that's it. So
Let me ask you a question. You ever had a moment where you bugged out in a bath towel and socks? Okay, guru. Look at Ben. Look at Ben over here. Brother
you
Ben
know,
over here.
yeah, I
Yeah.
don't know. I took my Wi-Fi off. I don't know if my Wi-Fi was acting a little choppy right now. So
Well, a little bit. Now I
yeah.
was asking. I said you said it was a moment, and I was asking you. Have you pause? Have you ever had a moment where you got caught bugging out in a bath towel with tube socks on?
Well, I mean, no, but you know, I guess, like, like I said, just playing devil's advocate. I mean, obviously the way the video looks just looks crazy. So, anyone's gonna see that and just be like, yo, like this is crazy right here. But as far as like that kind of situation and all, is like if he's used to being this way normally, like screaming and yelling and going crazy, then it's kind of like, yeah, it creates that kind of dynamic where it's like, of course, the smallest thing is probably gonna set him on fire. I mean, there's no excuse to be that way, period. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, like if you that rich and you flipping out, that's a problem. It's almost like you look at Jay-Z. I always like to comment about how every time he does interviews, every time he does whatever, at that stage of the game, you got to be so politically correct that every single
Yeah,
time, like you do something or say something, you're like, okay, well, and you give the best politically correct answer. You don't even try to take sides on stuff. You don't try to whatever. And it's
yeah,
like,
yes,
when you get that rich, you can't afford to act that way. So even if someone said whether he's wrong or whether he's, not right, but maybe he had a moment, if you want to play devil's advocate, like I was saying, at the end of the day, you that rich, you can't have those moments, period. Just period. And you just got to know that in this day and age. Now, if you just some regular dude on the street, that's different. You can have your moments. No one's going to care. You got that much money, everyone's coming after you. And the moment you slip up, they come after you. So like, Jay-Z's a perfect example because Jay-Z and him are like the same about
Yeah,
value. You know what I mean? Network. So at that point, you got to move like that. You see the example, you got to move like that. So
yeah. That's the
yeah,
difference. That's the difference. The more successful you become, the more distant you have to become. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? You gotta. He's still trying to keep it real.
yeah, yeah,
Lack of better terms.
yeah,
With
yeah, yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like I'm put my work in kind of thing. Like, no, the boss don't put the work in no more.
yeah,
You're not doing it. You know what I'm saying? You walk away and it gets done. But
yeah,
we don't do that to females anyway. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, yeah,
um,
yeah.
Dano said this. He said the ill part is Diddy already beat her up in the room. I think he was high. And I
Could have been.
don't know. I never knew Diddy to be like on heavy drugs, but I think he was. I think he was high.
He could have been. Sometimes too, we don't realize some of these guys, these celebrities, when their own time, in the right time, they'll do their little stuff, and then later on, they try to like get by, and no one knows about it or what's going on. And in the public, they know how to behave a certain way. But it's like, sometimes how, like, for example, you got family members who almost a lot of people have this in the family. You got that one guy who drinks all the time and is like, they look like they function perfectly good, and you'd be like, I wouldn't even know he's drunk. Meanwhile, they drinking all the time, or they just know how to do it at a certain time. So it's like maybe he just has his moments when he's on his downtime. But at the end of the day, like we said, it's like regardless, he's got to realize you're too in a position where you can't afford to do that. You know what I mean? Just on your own value, losing your value. Even if we get past the whole whether it's right or wrong, where we get past the moral aspect, you just have too much money to risk doing that. You know what I mean? You gotta have that boss mentality. I'm not risking that. So, and shame on him in that being the whole Me Too movement that's come out now is such a big thing. People, even though they said it happened in 2016, you should have been cleaning the books since like maybe 2020. You know what I mean? You should have
That's
been on that. So yeah, 100%. Your mentality should have been like, oh shoot, this is going around. I already know this kind of stuff I do. Let me start cleaning the books now. Pay everyone off, get everyone out of your sight, break up with Cassie right away. You should have been like, you know what? I already did this to her. She could turn around on me later. Listen, girl, I love you, this and that. I need to break up with you. I'm just need to be a better person, this and that. Give her some money. You should have been gone in 2020. You know what I mean? Cleaning the books everywhere, because why are you gonna keep playing the same game and get you playing? And you know there's fire around everywhere. You know what I mean? Everyone's going down for all this stuff now. And you're gonna keep playing the same game like you untouchable. That in itself, I say, was a big mistake on his part, knowing that. You know what I mean?
my brother Sean said. That's not just celebrities. That's any and everybody. And Benu commented saying, "Fuck boy tendencies." That definitely is fuck boy tendencies. Like when I seen
Yeah.
that kick, I was like, "Whoa!"
Yeah.
Like even when I see like two men fighting, if I see like
Yeah.
somebody getting stomped out,
Yeah.
I, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm like, is he okay? You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Like a kick, that's different.
Yeah.
Into the head, like that.
Especially
That's
when they on the floor. Yeah. And it's done. Like when it's done, it's done. You know what I mean? You don't need to be whatever. Yeah. Nah, 100%.
like yeah. She was not putting up a fight. It was no threat. Like you said, like if the guy is knocked out and he's on the floor,
Yeah.
stop fighting.
Stop fighting. Yeah. Like you won.
Yeah.
Just walk away. You know? And
Oh
and I
my
think
god.
what makes it worse also is it'd be one thing if she finished smacking him around or doing something like that. He didn't even say that. So when he put out the apology video, and everyone says it was stupid for him to do that, because one, you're doing that, and then after you just finished saying, because when I was watching the Stephen Smith video, and he's talking about how, you know, Diddy put out that memo saying, I absolutely did nothing wrong, just like January, December. I did nothing wrong. People after my money. Then this comes out, and now you're like, I'm sorry. Then what does that mean when you just said I did absolutely nothing wrong? I mean, like I said, once again, playing devil's advocate, what
Yeah.
you should have said is, yo, she was smacking me up, and this is why. It's something. If you first, you should have said nothing. But if you're gonna say something, don't just say I'm sorry, because now it goes, well, what were you lying about before when you said? And that's what the point he was making. Why were you going so hard with your lie before, and now that you're caught, it makes your apology seem unsincere because now you're just mad you got caught. So
Yeah, and one of the main reasons why I'm doing this live, because Bano, he called me today. Yo, you gonna go live and apologize? Like, you gonna apologize to the females?
Oh man.
So I was one of those people. Like when Diddy said he didn't do nothing, I said, "Hey, let's see what happened." He said he didn't do it. Like,
Yeah.
okay, you got one person saying no, one saying yes. Bro, him doubling down, it just made like he was wrong for doing it first. But
Yeah.
when you just like you said, when you just put the statement out,
Mm-hmm.
that means you was never gonna even admit to any
Yeah.
wrongdoing.
Yep.
That is like that's the other part where I think the community is looking at him like like man, you
Yeah.
bullshit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah.
like if he didn't get caught, he would have pretended. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah. Yep.
I like
Yep.
my rappers to tell you what drugs they doing. You know what I'm saying? If DMX
Yeah.
did something, yeah, I did
Yeah.
that. Whatever. If Method Man, ODB, them
Yeah.
niggas smoke crack. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like
Yep.
whatever. They you
Or
knew. Okay, you got a problem. You got a problem.
yeah. Yeah.
Pretending
Or
like you didn't do nothing.
or even to have said in that initial response, because some people do this to kind of cover themselves. Uh, Hold on a second. Some people do this to try to cover themselves. They'll go, okay, we had some moments where things got out of control on both our
Yeah,
ends, but the person is over exaggerating what it really is. Then you could say, okay, you're not saying that things didn't happen, but you're saying like, maybe someone's over exaggerating.
yeah,
For you to say it absolutely was not, I never did anything, and then now this happens. Now there's no way for you to now try to make it look clean after the fact. Where if you would have started your initial statement and said, we have moments we've gotten into arguments, things got heated, but I never went too far. Even if the
it's
video
crazy.
came out, it's still your interpretation of what was too far. It's not going to look good on you, but at least you didn't go flat out and say nothing happened. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But yeah,
absolutely. I give shout out to the only man who beat the Me Too movement, my my idol, Russell Simmons. He said, look, I did something, but I didn't do that.
yeah, hmm
I did something,
yeah,
but I ain't do that. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, yeah,
Something
yep,
happened, but not that. You know what I'm
yeah, yep. And
saying? So if you
I
see
think,
something,
yeah, and then he took off, and that was it. He was just gone. He's like, I ain't coming back to the country. But
who is this lawyer? He killed
yeah,
it. He went to Raleigh. He had the right statement. There's no he ain't go to court, nothing. There,
yeah. Well, he left the
he,
country, so I mean, at that point, once you're gone, there ain't nothing you could do. But that's the thing. A lot of people who are big and in power don't want to leave the spotlight because they in the spotlight. So you leaving like he did, you're giving up the spotlight. Now he probably was in a place in his life where he wasn't as much the spotlight. He's more the behind guy. But like Puffy, even though he's still the guy behind the scenes, he's still so much in the light. So it's like he would
yeah,
have had to
yeah,
give all that up, and he's not gonna do it. Certain people are very arrogant. They want that spotlight. So, you know,
yeah.
yeah.
I think he people saying like I said, Stephen A. Smith said he's done, right?
hmm
Two sides to the coin. Business wise, I don't think he's completely done because he's investments and things you own. He's done for us being the face, like the brand, things like that. But as far as like him owning certain things in the background and him, I think he can still do business certain ways. But you got Chris Brown, you got who else? I'm gonna say Chris Brown. Some domestic violence, We've seen the footage, the pictures. Is Chris Brown done? He got some backlash. He can't do everything. He's not the same Chris Brown. But do you think it will be a point where it kind of blows over and he'll be like a lower version of Diddy, but still be Diddy? Like, what do you think is gonna be next?
I think the difference with Chris Brown is we look into the psychology of the audience. Chris Brown was a little kid, you know what I mean? Like beginning when he first came out. So I don't know if you're able to hear me because I know my thing is pausing a little bit, but Chris Brown, he was a little kid when he came out. So like the perception of the world on him is like, okay, you were a little boy, you became a young adult, and we get it. You had some girlfriend problems, you guys got into it. People also knows that he's coming from a generation where some people, once again, playing devil's advocate, Rihanna could have been the type who got in his face, screamed a little bit. The guy, yeah, it doesn't mean it's okay, but they know it's like that kind of back and forth.
Barbados.
She's
gonna get in your face.
She's gonna get in his face, getting riled up. And even though, like I said, it doesn't make it okay, but there's a certain level of between his age, between him being like the young adolescent kid who we knew from a young kid growing up to a young adult, teenager. Him getting into a toxic relationship with a girl who's also his same age. It creates this idea like you messed up, you shouldn't have done that. We also know maybe she kind of pushed you, but at the same time, you shouldn't have done it, but we can kind of forgive that. Diddy is a totally complete different dynamics. Like you said, he's been in the game for many years since he was an adult. He is older. She's super younger than him. So you have that different dynamic. So it's not like they're on the same age length. They're both like young 20s. And it's like she yelled at him, got in his face, and he smacks around. No, like you're a complete, probably 25 years older than her or more. You know what I mean? So at that point, it's like you can't say, even if you want to say she got in my face, they're going to be like, come on now. You know what I mean? You 50 something years old or whatever his age is. It's like, you should have just walked away. You shouldn't even be competing on that mental level when they act like that. If she did that, I'm not saying she did do that. So there's less forgiveness for P. Diddy. Plus the fact that Chris Brown, it was just that one allegation and not a bunch of other stuff. With Diddy, there's a lot of people saying.
That's what Banu said. That's what Banu said.
He got the Freaknik parties they talk about, the coursing young children and men and little boys. They talk about him with Usher, with Justin Bieber and all this stuff. So it's like you have a pile up of things. So I think it's harder to forgive him than it would be to forgive Chris Brown, in that regard. So yeah.
So you said Cassie was way younger than him. Diddy went out with J-Lo. We ain't hear none of that with J-Lo. What's the difference between Cassie and J-Lo? How come, you know what I'm saying, that Puerto Rican from the South Bronx ain't having it?
Well, one, I'm sure that you got to understand too, part of the allure for someone like Diddy to even do that to somebody like a young female like Cassidy is once you know you're older, you have more power, subconsciously it feels like you could do more. J-Lo's your equal, at least at that point in time. Financially, they were about equals. Popularity-wise, they're equal. So it's like already you don't have that intimidation that makes you feel you even want to test it. If you try to test the water, she's probably walking right away. So you don't even have that like inch it along to even get there. With Cassie, it was probably like, let me do a little something, a little more. Okay, now I feel like I got control. Now I'm dominating. Whereas like you pull something like that with J-Lo, you saw the first time we got into a little shooting, she was gone. She was like, I'm done. That's it. You know what I mean? So it's like, I think that dynamic between the age, but her fame made it where he's not going to be able to do any of that kind of quote unquote domination. And if anything, J-Lo's used to dominating her guys. So it's not even like she's used to dating the person who makes less than her and her telling them what to do. Like, when she was dating that Casper guy or whatever his name was, that guy was just a background dancer. He had no money. So he's the equivalent of Cassie to her being like Diddy. So yeah, you're not gonna have that happen. I mean, she broke up with what's her name, A-Rod. So like it's that dynamic in itself is just kind of like she's not gonna take that, and he knows it. So he knows the difference between who we could do it with and who we can't. So yeah.
What if J? Because they said the gun was in J-Lo's purse at the shooting with Sean. What if J-Lo was the one really behind the whole shit?
Well, you know what's funny, because I didn't know that. I didn't
Huh?
know that, but what's funny is this: is that Stephen A. Smith said Diddy used to make Cassie put his gun in her bag off an intimidation tactic.
Yeah, that's the normal thing. Yeah, you get somebody to hold. Yeah, yeah.
So, you know, if he was doing that with J-Lo, then it shows that this is a thing that he does. You know what I mean? But they said in Cassie's case, it was more of like an intimidation thing of saying, like, you know, the power I have, and I walk around with a gun. I'm going to make you hold it so you can feel intimidated. That was his perspective on it. I don't know if that's why he did it, but that's what his perspective was on it.
I don't think it was to make it intimidation. It's how you move. When you go
Yeah.
to a club, the girls don't get checked the same way guys get
Yeah.
checked. You may have licensed security, but in certain situations, they're not allowed to do so. It was more of a mule, I think. Let her
Yeah.
hold
Yeah.
the drugs, let her hold the, you know what I'm saying? When I
Yeah.
mean they get, you know, it was more that, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I wouldn't put it past like some of the allure of, hey, this is what we do, you know, that kind of thing too.
Yeah.
But before we go, I ain't want to be here too long.
Yeah. Yeah.
My brother Ben said, check out Sean's statement video. So, according that there's a new video of Sean actually admitting that Diddy was the one who shot the person in the club.
Well, a lot of people thought that in the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Sean did 10 years.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people also thought he was taking the fall for him because, you know, he was the one who was low on the totem pole, even though this is another thing about Diddy, and there's a problem with him. He never tends to reward those who worked for him. So when Sean was locked up, instead of being like, I got your back, here you go, I know what you did for me, between the both of them, like knowing what the truth is, instead, he just let him sit there to rot and didn't even help him out when it was time for him to come out. So yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So yeah, man.
Damn, but all right, good looking
All right.
guru.
Yep.
And I'm about to sign out myself.
Yep. Yep.
What's your channel, Universal Guru?
Universal Guru on YouTube. Check me out.
Go subscribe. He getting his subscribers up.
Yeah.
Hip hop is art, and we working double time. We got a lot of stuff going on, but we working through it. Shout out to my brother Banu, my brother Sean on the second, and Raw Sauce DVD was good. Yeah,
Classic.
Classic.
Yep.
All right,
Yep.
peace out.
All right, yo.